Hi everybody, it's Dee, and we're going to be starting here in just a little bit. I wanted to go ahead and get us started and make sure that the video or the camera and everything was going to be okay. So hopefully everybody can see it. And as you view and everything, if you just want to do a quick like on the video or make a quick comment, that would be great. That way I know everything's going well and that you can hear me. And so if you're there, just do a little comment or whatever, and we'll get started here in just about 30 seconds or so. Hi Tracy, thanks for joining. Thank you. Appreciate that. So excited to do this. This is going to be my first Facebook Live on my Create with Dee page, and so I think it'll be fun. Hi Joni, thanks for joining. Hi Beth, awesome. I think we have just a few more seconds here and then we can get started. So as we do, you guys will have to tell me if you already have your blends, if you've got some of, if you've got the whole set, if you got some of them. Hi Ascension, thanks for tuning in. Okay guys, I think it's time, so we'll get started. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I get started on these blends and I absolutely love them. Hi Marge. And just real quick about Stampin' Blends, because this is, Stampin' Blends for beginners. Stampin' Blends are an alcohol-based marker from Stampin' Up. And what that means is that you can create some beautiful in-depth color images with very little effort. And you don't need to be an expert in order to get these beautiful images, which I hope to share with you today how you can do that. When you get started with Stampin' Blends, there's three things that you need. Obviously you need the markers, that's number one. And the second thing is you need to have some ink that will play nicely with the alcohol-based markers. So the Tuxedo Black Memento ink is the ink that Stampin' Up! Recommends that we use with it. What we never want to use is a craft ink or StazOn. It's just they're not going to, when the alcohol, the coloring type of medium that's in the blends, it's going to pull those other type of inks inward, and you don't want them in your image. Isn't going to be as pretty as what you want. The outline will get all gross, and it could even mess up your tips of your blends. So again, you want to invest in, if you don't already, have the Memento ink in the Tuxedo Black. And then also, this is something a little new that Stampin' Up! Started to carry maybe about last year or so. It is the thick Whisper White as well as the thick Berry Vanilla. And we want that because it's got a different absorbency. We love our traditional Whisper White and Berry Vanilla because it's got that really pretty glossy feel to it. However, that glossy feel and that that pretty sheen on it really doesn't help with the absorption factor on the blend. So we do want some paper that has some blends on it. Hi Hope, thanks for joining. So that's what you're going to need to start with, are these three things. You need thick Whisper White or thick Berry Vanilla, Tuxedo Black Memento ink, and then your blends. Okay, so let's get started with this. I wanted to share with you today 3 or 4 projects. We'll kind of see how the timeline goes here just a little bit. But I wanted to show how you can really start with very minimal blends as far as the counts go to get beautiful colors. So this is a little bunny image from Garden Girl. I thought it was a cute little image that's very good timing here for spring and Easter. Hi Holly, hi Julie. And so on this, what I wanted to show how that you can actually color and get some different depths of color just using one color of your blends. And so with this bunny, what I'm going to do is just start coloring. So I've already stamped him or her with our Memento ink. And these blends are, to kind of quote that old Saturday Night Live skit with you know, that they're doing a parody of Barbara Streisand. You know, it's like butter. You know, it is just so smooth. I'm hardly putting any pressure on it, and it just glides. Now, the difference between these alcohol-based and a marker is that you're not going to see the lines on it. And as it dries, those lines will just disappear. And so coloring is just that easy. So if you wanted to do nothing else than to just put color down very easily, you know, the blends are that. So how cute is that bunny just with one color? So again, the idea with blends is the more that you layer on it, the more depth of color, the more definition of your image that you can have. So what I'm going to do right now is put basically a second coloring element or coloring over on certain parts of him or her. So as you can see here, this is just a little more, you know, the more layers that I put on it, the colors are going to change, which is the whole point of blending. You're just going to keep adding color and blending the components. So again, this is really subtle because it's going to be tone on tone, but if I keep going over those areas that I want a little darker, I can, you know, actually, like with one marker, I'm getting these multiple colors. So I wanted to show that with you on it. So so that's like my one tip is that, you know, if you wanted to just try one or two colors, you can go a long way with that. The next thing that I wanted to share, again, just using one marker, and you'll notice this all through our one-on-one, is I like to take the marker, take the blend, and follow the outlines of the image. And I'm going to be tracing these or adding some more of my blend color on the inside of the lines, and just kind of follow the inline, the image line on the inside of it. I think that kind of helps pop the image, and again gives definition to the colors. And then again, I'm going to come back over. So I really want to have a little more shadow here on the hind leg. Look how it's coming alive. Isn't that awesome? And that's just with one marker. Okay, so hi Kathy, thanks for joining. So has anybody tried just to do this with one marker before? I mean, look how cute he is with just doing one color. With Stampin' Up's Stampin' Blends, you can buy them in the combo pack. So this is Pink Peridot, and it's Pink Peridot Light and Dark. And so I was using the light. So now what I'm going to do is show how you can bring in a second color. Hi Penny. So again, this is, let's say I got the combo pack, so I wanted the light and the dark. So now I'm going to come back through and I'm going to continue with what I have going, you know, darker to do that. So now where one color did a little bit of darker images by going over, or a darker color, now the accent color, in this case this was the darker one, really does pop it. So you have that marriage of light and dark in the same color family, and he's super cute. There again, what I like to do, and oh, I didn't share this. The markers are dual tips. This is going to be a thicker tip, and this is going to be a thinner tip. So I'm going to close it. And we always want to hear that that click. That tells us we've got a seal on it, because with it being alcohol based, it will evaporate. And what's nice is that when you open up an end, you can always store the cap on the other side. Okay, so again, this is the dark, and I'm going to do my outline trick. So I'm going to come in here and trace on the inside, where I really want to have a little more definition, really give him some outline. And then here again on his haunches, I'm going to come back over and give it a little more shadow. And I'm going to bring back my light. And you can kind of just keep playing with it. So, you know, I'm just going to kind of go over it and now blend it in. And that's where the word blend comes in, so that you really can't see where one line starts and stops. So didn't he really pop? So, you know, so that's using one color or two colors, and you can get this cute little image. About getting the blends, again, you can order individual ones. They're $4.50, or you can get the combo pack for $9. Or you could get the whole collection all at once. There is no monetary savings by getting the combo pack or getting them all at once. All it's going to do is save you from entering a bazillion numbers all at once. So that's going to be good. Okay, so there's that. And I wanted to show you what this might look like on a project. So here he is on a little 3x3. And I've got him on this one. I put a little Wink of Stella on him too. But that's how you can add, just with using one color or one color set of the light and dark, and, you know, and start playing around. And that wasn't hard at all, was it? Okay, so that's, you know, getting started with that. With just even getting, again, one combo pack, you'd be in good shape. All right, so now let's bring in maybe a little more, you know, another image that would require us to do maybe a little more coloring and a little more definition. So this is from the stamp set Petal Palette. It's one of those really popular sets that's in the Occasions catalog. And what I am going to use this time are the combos of Daffodil Delight, both light and dark, as well as Old Olive. So what I like to do first is lay down the color of the lightest on these. And again, you know, because I don't have to worry about the lines being seen, I'm going to come in here, and it just colors super fast. And I'm just staying within the lines. So we'll go ahead and lay down just one color base of the light of both the Daffodil Delight and the Old Olive. So pretty. There's so many different ways that you can add color to images that Stampin' Up! Offers. You could use watercolor paper and use the watercolor pencils or the aqua painters or the blender pens. You can use the Stampin' Write markers or the Stampin' Blends, which is what I'm showing here tonight. Okay, so there's, you know, so right there, pretty, right? Really, really pretty. Hi, Marianne. And so, I mean, you could just go with that, and that is gorgeous. But because we're kind of doing a one-on-one class here, I'm going to show you my outline trick again. So now I'm going to take the Daffodil Delight Dark, the dark yellow, and I'm going to do my outline trick. I'm just going to follow those outlines of the stamped image. I'm not blending at this point. We're just following, again, the outline. It's already starting to come to light, and I'm just tracing basically. Look how pretty that is. So I didn't do any other blending other than to just add a dimension using the blends. So you could just stop at that if you wanted to. Let me go ahead and show you how adding a little bit of the dark green, the dark Old Olive. I'm going to leave that open because I'm coming back to it. And so maybe here where it's got some of these little lines here, I'm going to fill those in and then come out again and do some tracing. Pretty darn gorgeous. Not hard at all. I think if we passed, don't tell anybody about how I make these things, but since I passed, you know, kindergarten with following the outline, I'm golden. I'm golden with Stampin' Blends. I love it. Okay, so I'm gonna put my caps back on those, and I'm gonna come back in with the lighter one and blend some more. When I come back in with the lighter one now and kind of, you know, merge those two colors, it gets to be a seamless variation of color. So pretty, so pretty. And again, the idea is that you can just kind of keep coming back to where you want to do your high and low lights. And you know, in the flowers, like when the inside of the flower sometimes is tighter, so it's darker. As it opens up, it gets lighter. So maybe that's, you know, something that you might want to do. Awesome. So that again is kind of using the 2-color each method on there. Next, I wanted to show how you can introduce, like we stayed within the color families here. On this rose, and I'm just going to do the flower part, I won't do the leaves. I wanted to share how we can start to use multiple color sets with it too. So I'm just going to do this one rose right here, and I'm going to use the Light Daffodil Delight and just kind of swirly color the center of it. Now I'm going to take Calypso Coral and I'm going to color the rest of it. So maybe this is one of those type of flowers that, you know, is dual color as it opens. So now I've got the inside of it. Again, I'm going to take my darker one and do my outline trick. Follow the outline. And it just, you know, really starts to pop. I'm going to come back through with my light one more time. And I'm kind of blending and merging those colors. And look how pretty that is. So let me show you what that could look like on a project then. So this is a card that I cased from Janet Wakefield, and I loved how she did the window sheet on it and used that image to connect it. But I also wanted to just share with you guys too how that you can take that image and really pop it. And again, so what do you guys think? Do you think that was hard? I mean, it's just, they make it so easy for us to do this. Okay, so that was, you know, again, taking our blends and doing the 2-tone or the tone on tone, but also introducing a secondary color and blending it all. Okay, I've got 2 more things to show you here on, you know, getting started with Stampin' Blends and how easy it is. On this sheet here, what I did is I took images. Again, this is from the Petal Palette stamp set, and I heat embossed with silver embossing powder the bird and the little rose image here. So what I wanted to share with you on that, and I think I'll just bring in the sample card. So here I made a little robin type of bird, and then colored in flowers and added it on the accent here. So how I achieved this, I wanted to show you 2 ways that you can use your Stampin' Blends on an embossed image that you've put embossed on vellum. One is the flower image here, and I'm a little addicted to coral right now as far as the colors go, so I just can't stop playing with it. In fact, I just bought a couple of spring shirts in this color. So what I'm doing is I'm using my Stampin' Blend and coloring the flower in between where the silver embossing powder is at. So it might be a little bit hard to see there. So it will be light because we are, you know, coloring onto vellum. But again, you just kind of keep going over the color that you want. And I'm going to bring in, and I'm using the fine tip on this because it is a small little area there, and I have a little more control over that. And then there's this little itty bitty green here. And so I'm going to color in between those. And let me see if I can do here on the back there. So there you can see when you put that up against white, your white cardstock, you can color right on top of it. But I wanted to show you a little trick on the bird here. And we're actually going to color on the reverse side of it. So again, I'm going to bring this in, and I'm going to have a little coral, if I could make a little robin belly here, and then use some of the blue, but I'm coming in on the back side of it. What's the advantage on the back side of vellum and the blends is that whatever you color, and it's going to be on, like in this case, like overlapping the gray here, which is the embossed silver, you won't see it. And so on the back side, I'm going to do that here, and then I can just kind of color the rest of it. And it doesn't matter, I can do it all full because when we flip it over, it'll come through like that. Isn't that great? I love it. I absolutely love it. And then this, you can either fussy cut this or you can use the corresponding Big Shot die that goes with it, and then put it on your card. Again, easy, right? But look how stunning that card is with it. And you know, we can say we used the blends, but there just hardly wasn't anything to it at all. But don't tell others that it was easy. We want them to think that we really, you know, are coloring geniuses here. All right, so the last little project that I wanted to show is how you can do maybe a little more complicated looking projects, but really it's not. I still am considering this, you know, Stampin' Blends one-on-one. So this is the, you know, quintessential stamp set, you know, lovely as a tree that most stampers have in their collection. What I wanted to share with you on using your blends is that the artist of the stamp did a lot of the work for us, and they kind of gave us direction of where to highlight the shadows. Highlight and shadows are not this, you know, probably not the best wording together, but you know, these are going to be little shadow areas that we can use to build up our scene. So on this one, I am using the light pool party as my sky, and I'm going to start out by painting my blue sky. I'm gonna go through the trees and everything and just kind of start to build up my sky here first. Okay, so I've got my sky going. Now I'm going to take my darker pool party, and on this particular scene, I'm gonna think that the sun is up here, so that means where the sun's at, it goes light, like the sky will go light to darker. And so on that case, I'm going to bring my dark pool party down here by the tree line. And now I'm going to bring back in, because again, we're blending, and I'm going to blend that dark to light up. Pretty fun. Now with that same thought process, I'm going to do the green grass. Even though, well, actually with the 50-degree temperature here in Indiana, it's starting to green up just a little bit. I love it. Love it, love it. So again, I'm going to put a base down here of our grass. That's with the old olive. Now I'm coming in with the fine point, and I'm going to, again, I'm going to follow the artist. I'm going to follow the stamp, whoever designed this stamp. I'm going to follow the outline and the shadows that he or she already made. So I'm going to bring these little hills, these little slopes that help define where these trees are resting. but it's called Stampin' Blend markers, so we're not quite done just with that. So now I've highlighted those. I'm going to give them a little shadow. Just going to pull a little bit down here. And come back in with my lighter color and blend it. You can come back over and do that as many times as what you want to get the depth of color that you want. I'm going to come in and just do a little more. Come back over and highlight them again. Because the more you go over them, remember, the more definition that you give them, the more, enrichment of color that you get. So now our little landscape's coming along. And because this is, I do want this to be a springtime thing, I'm going to go ahead and make these like little X's all through the tree. And that's going to be some green coming on. Again, I'm not being real fussy with it. I'm just kind of adding some color to that and that's why we wanted to put the blue sky down first so that it would peek through these branches. Okay, so just kind of continue on with that. And again, we can really become artists with very little artistic, what do I want to say, aptitude perhaps. I've got some yellow, maybe there's a little yellow tone in there, and you can kind of keep playing with it and keep building your color. And this was the, the completed look then that I had. So this is my class. This is the stamping or the Stampin' Blends one-on-one. And I'll just kind of bring in some of the projects again so that you can see with just a little bit of coloring back over, and the smooth texture that these blends have, you can create some really beautiful depths of color with our stamped images. Well, I hope you enjoyed the class, maybe learned a little something, and if I can help you with your blends purchase, please let me know. But otherwise, just really, enjoy your blends and coloring, and I hope you have a great evening. Thanks for watching, everybody, and happy crafting. Bye-bye.